Okay, so now we're going to start painting the trees and rocks layer. Before we do that, you'll notice if I play the game that even though we have a character, we can't see him. And the reason for that is that we need to change the order of our sorting layers. So if we go into, I guess player, any of these are fine. Layer ground, go into the inspector. Oops, go into our sorting layers. And we want to move characters below the ground and objects layer. So now once we do that, let's see, if we play the game now, we should be able to see our character and he can move around. Okay, so our sorting layers are sorted out. So now we're going to go to our tile palette and make sure that the tile map is layer trees and rocks, and going to start painting just like we did before. So I'm going to stop it and then paint something. You can see sort of an example of how this layer would be painted by going to the textbook. You can see the author has added some boundaries, bushes, rocks, so we'll try to do something similar. Okay, so you can see I added a few rocks, trees and bushes, obstacles, not too many, just a few. Kind of emulated how he surrounds the corners of this with some bushes. So if I play the game now, we'll be able to see the landscape, except you'll notice that when we move our player, it goes right off the screen. So the effect that we want is that as the player moves, the camera follows him within this world. So how did we do that? Let me stop the game. But first we're going to tweak some graphic settings. So these are described in the textbook. We want to go into File, Edit, Project Settings, Quality, and we want to make sure that these two settings, anti-aliasing and anisotropic textures, are both disabled. Okay, so that is already done. So I'm going to X out of there. Okay, next we want to change the resolution on the game. We want to create a standard HD resolution. So call it HD colon 1280 by 720. And set these parameters to 1280 and 720. Okay. So now when we run our game, camera still doesn't move. Oops, play the game. Camera still doesn't move, and player still is moving through these objects. So we're going to add a Cinemachine component. So the Cinemachine is something that will allow you to configure the camera to follow a game object, our player, for example, but it needs to be loaded from the asset store. So I'm going to add the window asset store. I'm going to search for the asset Cinemachine. then going to click on that. It's a free asset. And then once the download button appears, click download. And then click import. So I'll accept all of the components of Cinemachine. I'm not going to worry about excluding anything. So just go to the bottom and click import. And now that package should come into your Unity. I'm going to take a break while this is importing. Okay, so once Cinemachine has been installed, I'm going to back over to my game now, my scene. You should have a menu, Cinemachine. So I will select under Cinemachine and say create a 2D camera. And you can see once I do that, I have a game object called CMVCam1. But the other effect is that if I click on my main camera, I'll see a Cinemachine brain script attached to our main camera. Okay, so I'll save the game at that point. So now I want to go back to the Cinemachine VCam. You'll see it has this field follow. So I'm going to take our player object and drag it over to the follow parameter. As you can imagine, now when I run the game, the camera should follow the player as he navigates around in space. So that's the purpose of the Cinemachine. As the player moves, he will be followed by the camera. Okay. All right, we'll stop there and we'll continue refining this in the next video.